My name is Princell. I live here in Oban and I came from the US about a year ago. I worked for a long time on a daily radio program that aired nationally in the US. I was on staff, and then my husband got this job in Scotland and we moved here to this small town. So I'm doing freelance work and I'm working independently for the first time. I was a producer on a daily hour-long show that looked at the news through personal narrative. And it was international topics, so if something happened, when there was an earthquake in Haiti, for example, a few years ago, we were trying to find people to tell us what it was really like there and what they were experiencing, and we would talk to them for a long time. So we looked at the news, but in really creative ways. And we had a lot of deadlines, and I had a really great team. And so now that I'm here, I'm trying to do news stories for the US with that same kind of flair for the personal, and trying to find stories that can really bring the news home and make it intimate. I did it for a long time. I loved it. We had a staff of about 6 people and a presenter, and so we were just constantly looking for stories and pitching stories and preparing people to, finding people to talk and finding ways to talk to them in some cases. And we would kind of carefully plan our interviews because we were trying to really bring out the stories and the narrative in them. Since I'm operating independently, I just want to know who else in the area is interested in radio and who's interested in storytelling and who's creative and who wants to try things, because I'm used to having a community and I don't have one anymore. So I'm finding that I'm kind of building it up slowly and finding out what resources are here. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of this, but also just learn a little bit about media in the UK, which I realize I don't know that much about. So even that session this morning about what words you can and can't use and what things you can and can't talk about, it's very similar to the US, but I could have stumbled into an area because a word that I don't consider a bad word is here, because there are differences. So I'm finding that pretty helpful too. I think I'd like to do freelance work in the long term if I can, because my husband's job might take us in different places. We might be moving in a few years again, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Plus we have a young child. And so I'd like to remain flexible and not necessarily go back to what I was doing before. So if I can find ways to do freelance news reports about issues I care about, then that sounds pretty ideal. But I'm also getting into a little bit of filmmaking and a little bit of business and science writing, and so I'm hoping to just kind of stay flexible and stay open and keep challenging myself and learning new things. I've been really impressed with the people involved with Honeycomb, and I'm realizing that there are a lot more resources for people in Western Scotland than I realized, and I think it's really great that they're trying to bring people together and introduce them to one another.